Welcome to the Wrestling Without Context podcast. Join me, Sean, a lifelong wrestling fan, as I take my friend Brian,
That's me,
a complete unknown to the world of sports entertainment, on a thrilling journey into the world of professional wrestling. With no prior knowledge or context, Brian experiences the magic, drama, and unforgettable moments of wrestling for the first time. Join them as they navigate through the world of larger-than-life characters, jaw-dropping feats, and stories that make wrestling an unforgettable experience. Hello to everybody that's joining us on the Wrestling Without Context podcast. I forgot the title for a second. For those of you that are just joining us for the first time, the way the show works is prior to recording the episode, Brian and I watch a match that Brian has never seen before. And then we also watch something as what I will call wrestling adjacent, a segment, a promo, reality TV, a Saturday Night Live show, whatever tickles our fancy. We then hit record and Brian gives us his wonderful thoughts about what he just watched.
and if it is your first time, go back. There's only like 4 other ones. So
exactly.
You can catch on up pretty darn soon.
Well, I was about to commend you, Brian, because I was like, wow.
Because I did interrupt you this whole time.
But
and I can't go a single intro without interrupting my fresh on.
But I was literally about to go, hello, Brian, and then you just jumped right into it, like off a diving board, like a Leroy Jenkins.
That's how I live my life.
I know.
Like a diving board.
Yeah, Brian Zinda. So, no, like I said, my name's Sean. This is my co-host, Brian. Brian, say hello again.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Last week we watched Kaiju Big Battle Wrestling. I know now better after our first 3 episodes than asking what Brian thought about our last episode, because as we saw in the last episode, Brian gets stage fright. And
What do you mean? What happened last episode? I don't even remember.
Are we recording a podcast? I thought we were just talking.
We watched a red monkey beat up a snail last week.
Yes, we did. So actually, I do have some context for last week, because we were both wondering why those minions were wearing scrubs for a certain point. It's because we didn't see who Dr. Cube was.
Dr. Cube, of course.
Yeah, so he popped up in my YouTube mentions, or my YouTube suggested, and I clicked on it. I'm like, oh, he's wearing a doctor's outfit. That makes so much more sense now.
So he's a medical professional. He's not a scientist doctor.
Yes, I think it's supposed to be here again to the internet. I can look this up. I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be a plastic surgeon.
No wonder all of them animals and people got homunculi together.
Yeah, so he is a disfigured surgeon who wears a white box over his face to hide his scars.
Dr. Cube. He is a cube head.
Yes, so we will go back, I'm sure, and see a little bit more of Dr. Cube in the future.
I once got in trouble when I was a kid because there's these like 2 older kids on bicycles, and me and my friend, we would always just call them blockheads, and then they would like chase us home on their bikes, and it was pretty scary.
It wasn't the blockheads from Gumby, was it?
I think that was the inspiration behind it.
Yeah, I remember back in the day. It wasn't Nick Jr. at that point, but it was Nickelodeon, and then like the afternoon was Stickly, and
Okay.
they would have the Gumby cartoons. Better days.
Better days.
Yeah, better days. So how have you been, Brian?
I've been good. Just flying and doing my things, playing some video games here and there. I saw the Thunderbolts. It was all great stuff.
Yes, I'm not sure if we talked about it on the pod last week, but you got very upset last week when I said I knew what happened without ever seeing the movie.
Yep.
Yep,
I did.
This is like the joke that I had to cut out of the episode where I'm like, hey, you remember this? And you go, nope. This is why I can't ask him about things that happened in the previous episode. He goes a week at a time.
I live my life one week at a time.
Yeah, Vin Diesel's a quarter mile at a time. Brian,
I have momentum disease, but only for a whole week.
There's a bit in The Simpsons where it's like Homer. They're like, oh, what's Homer thinking to himself? And it cuts to him and his brain, and he just goes, hey, hey. Like, that's Brian.
I'm going to blow your mind. I have never seen an episode of The Simpsons.
Jesus Christ, Brian. Like, I try not to be like...
That is a fact. I have seen The Simpsons movie, but I don't know what happened during it.
It does spider. I was thinking Spider Pig in my brain. That's why, because I was about to start singing. But then I think there's the bit where he has the wrecking ball. He goes to like hit the van, and then it's coming back, and it's just a shadow, and he's just got this look on his face. It's probably one of my favorites.
Amazing.
Yes, it's understandable knowing your upbringing about why it's like something you would have to get caught in, basically.
Brian,
So yes,
what are you watching on the TV? Who are these yellow people in nuclear power plants? Get out of here!
yes, you were too busy. What was it? The donut shop? The guy?
Donut shop man.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't know what that is, look that up, because I didn't know what it was, and I looked it up, and it was quite freaky. Man, speaking of anamorphic donuts, I think that's what the term is. So no, for those of you that I'm sure really care about this, we are recording this a week after Kaiju Big Battle. Brian has big Memorial Day plans, so yes, Brian gets to go home to the great state of Iowa and spend time with his family. So yes, let's hop right into it. So for this week, we watched the Hollywood ending match from AEW Revolution. It took place, I want to say March 9th. I don't have my notes pulled up in front of me because I am a educated and prepared host. That's the word I was looking for.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. It took place this year in 2025 in LA.
Wait.
And
whoa. That's current? That's like that just happened.
That happened, yeah, March 9th of this year.
Holy moly. Okay.
Yeah. Holy. I know I wanted to watch something recent because everything we've watched, I think, has been pre 2001, I think. Yeah. So obviously I picked a hardcore wrestling match between.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So this match took place between Toni Storm and Mariah May for the AEW Women's World Championship. And
Timeless Toni Storm. Is she immortal? It makes this. Is she from like the 20s and she's like lived her whole life?
Yeah. So we'll hop right into it just to give you some context for her. So she is a Australian wrestler. She wrestled for a little bit, and then she eventually developed this Motley Crue gimmick where she was wearing like red and leather and backwards hats and this sort of 80s rocker gimmick. And it worked pretty well, but then she lost her title while having that gimmick, and she started to slowly go insane, and she started to develop this Sunset Boulevard Turner Classic Movies persona where she became Timeless Toni Storm. Okay. And it's been fantastic because like she's popped up on Turner Classic Movies as well. Like she's just on the red carpet event where they were doing like all these classic movies, and like she maintains the bit. She's actually gotten very funny. You obviously didn't get to see any of her promos, or that she pops up on commentary from time pretty much on a weekly basis because she's so funny, because like she's like living in this bubble of like, I am this timeless Toni Storm and I could be from any era, but she definitely has like those like retro qualities of like someone you would like I think her name is Maddie Burns, or the old the Fabulous Moolahs of the world. She was actually just what was the name of the movie? Queen of the Ring, if you remember.
That's with the girl from Felicity Smoke.
Yes, I was literally about to say it's the one with Arrow, the girl from Arrow. Yes. So she was in that with a couple other wrestlers. She took some time off before this match and a match prior with Mariah May.
There's a lot of Arrow people who like wrestling. Like, didn't the Amell guy make a wrestling show for a little bit?
So Stephen Amell has always been wrestling adjacent. Cody Rhodes was on Arrow at one point. I can't remember what his shtick was. I just feel like he couldn't feel pain.
Do I know Cody Rhodes? Do I know him? We
haven't seen Cody Rhodes, and I haven't showed him to you. So maybe you do, maybe you don't. I'm sure if I showed you a photo, it's like, oh, that guy, because I'm sure you've seen him somewhere. No, Stephen Amell wrestled He wrestled at SummerSlam against Cody Rhodes, and then he wrestled at the pay-per-view I went to, All Out. And then, yes, he did do the wrestling show on Stars. It's called Heels.
Heels, that's it.
Which I have never seen because
there's too much wrestling.
It was on
not
Stars.
Enough time in the day.
I didn't get Stars. It got not booted. what's the term, canceled. And I think it's going to get picked up by Netflix. But man, Stephen Amell can't catch a break, because as of the recording of this episode, Suits LA.
Suits LA, I just saw that today too. Yeah. It just got canceled after one season.
Yeah, I remember, like, I saw the reviews for the first episode. I was just, because, like, you don't want to get, like, I am not a Suits person at all, and I wasn't going to watch it, but I can understand someone that wanted to wait, and people were just like, this is not at all what the original Suits was, which I don't even know what the hell that was.
I never watched the original Suits, but I feel like it was a guy pretending to be a lawyer, and it evolved into a lawyer show where it kind of just got rid of the shtick. I think, like, that's kind of what made it special for a lot of people.
I think it got popular during the pandemic, and like this idea of like royalties and like, because obviously those actors are not getting big paychecks because it was like one of the top streaming shows during the pandemic. And I think people forget what USA shows used to be, where it was like, this is nice, light, fun.
Man, I love USA shows. They used to be my jam. I used to watch Burn Notice. I used to watch White Collar. I used to watch Scrubs, not Scrubs, Psych. Like, come on now, give me those kind of shows.
Yeah, I was about to say, I haven't watched all of Burn Notice, but I saw enough of it. I'm a big Bruce Campbell guy, so that show. And then Jeffrey Donovan's very good. And then I can't remember the female's name, but I know her as the Tango lady from Scent of a Woman.
Oh, okay.
With Al Pacino and Chris O'Donnell, very young Chris O'Donnell. But yes, nice. Back off our tangent. And then she was wrestling against Mariah May. Brian, I know
she's from London.
Yes, she is a very British wrestler, very young British wrestler at this point. But Brian, did you notice any similarities between the two?
They looked very similar. They both had blonde hair. I think Timeless Toni Storm's hair was shorter.
Yes.
And Mariah May was wearing white, where Toni Storm was wearing a leopard print something.
Yes. So this was actually the third match in a trilogy that they did. The first, the way the story is supposed to go is Mariah looks up to Toni and comes on to AEW, and then turns on Toni, and then
and smashes her with a shoe.
Yeah. So Mariah at one point comes out in Toni's outfit and her Motley Crue outfit and looks exactly like her, to where people don't realize it at first. And then so fast forward into the feud, and now Mariah's turned on her. Mariah's a commentary and Toni's supposed to wrestle, but now Toni comes out acting as Mariah, and people are like, who the hell is that? It was like, oh, that's Toni Storm. They look, aside from like maybe a slight height difference, they look incredibly similar.
They do.
Yes.
I was just happy they both came out not wearing heels. I was like, man, can't make ladies fight in heels.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this is our first. This is our first recorded women's wrestling match. Is this what you think of when you think of women wrestlers?
Oh my gosh, this is the most brutal match I've seen so far. This was was crazy.
Yeah, so I was thinking about it as we were watching. I'm like, I don't think there's like a couple of wrestling moves in it, but it's more of a brawl than it is a wrestling match.
This was a fight.
Yeah, so Mariah comes out first, and then Toni comes out, but Toni doesn't even get down the ramp before Mariah just sort of runs out and meets her, and they start punching at each other.
Yeah, this is what they call a no holds bar. So like, you don't have to be in the ring at all for it or anything. Like, it's just fight till you die.
Yeah, so I want to back up a minute because I want to make sure I heard you correctly. Did you say no holds bar or no holds barred?
I said the correct way to say it.
Are you? Brian, I can go back and look at it. I just want you.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
A no holds bar. You walk into a bar, you want a drink, and no one can hold you.
And you can't. And there's no reservation needed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no holds. Yeah, so they call it.
Remember that show Holes? The show Holes with that Shia LaBeouf. They're making no holes at that bar.
Oh God, they're remaking that show now too. They're making the movie into a TV series now. So.
I bet it'll be good.
Never seen any. I never read the book. Never saw the TV show.
It was a great book. His name was Stanley Yelnats, which is just Stanley backwards.
I just love this dichotomy of like I watched The Simpsons and you read a beloved children's book. We this is how we connect. We fill in each other's holes. I saw where I was going with that.
We do.
We finish each other. We put it in each other's holes. Yeah, exactly. There you go. So, oh god,
so we did wrestling. We did wrestling today. Wrestling was the thing that happened today.
Yeah, exactly. So it starts off. They already have like all. It felt very theatery, like just like stage combat-y, where they had like all the things they were going to use. Like they had the table that like immediately got flipped over that had Hollywood ending on it, and then did you know who the guy was in the match?
His name was Luther. I think he's a butler. Is he someone's butler?
Yes, he is Toni Storm's butler, like the Sunset Boulevard type. He's accompanies her to the ring and carries her on and off, and he takes quite a big fall into.
Yeah, he does, into that table. He flips right over it.
Well, when I first watched it, I saw like all these like champagne glasses set up, and I'm like, oh, it's like when you see a cake in a wrestling match. Yeah. It's like it's ending up on somebody.
Amazing.
It's Chekhov's table all over again.
Chekhov's table. Except
this time it was Chekhov's champagne glass.
Amazing.
So Luther takes that big fall, and I think I hear someone go, "Is he okay?" I don't know who it was. But
it was me. It was me.
Oh, it was. Oh God. So then it cuts back to Toni and Mariah. That they fight, and eventually Toni picks.
Did Mariah have a taser at one point?
Oh yes, that was before Luther. She pulls out a taser, and I'm like, oh God, we're going like.
It's like, what is happening? This is, and also this is the first match with blood. There's so much blood in this match.
Yes. So Mariah, like they drop each other on their heads a bunch to start the match. Mariah does like that pile driver, and then Toni picks up Mariah, and they do the big bit through the table where like, oh, they're all dead, and then like you said, we were watching it. Mariah suddenly shoots back to life, and yes,
as soon as that number 3 is counted, back from the dead.
Yes. So they go back.
That's why Jesus could only stay dead for 2 days, because on the 3rd day it would be permanent, and he had to bust up.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jesus. They call it kicking out at 2. Jesus kicked out at 2. Like if someone comes back from the brink of death, like they go to the hospital or something like that, someone's like, I kicked out at 2.
Oh my gosh.
So they go back to the ring, and that's where we first get our little bit of blood, as Brian was alluding to. So Mariah does a pile.
So like at first I thought it was real. Because it was like coming from her scalp, and I was like, oh dang. But then there was just so much, and nobody passed out. So like it had to be maybe a little fake blood over there.
So I remember when this match went up. I remember there being conversation about people couldn't tell if it was fake or not, because there are ways in which they call it blading, where they'll take like a small razor and they'll cut like at the sort of the top of their head. But depending on how deep the cut is, it may just like keep going. Sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's big.
I mean, do these wrestlers have like face insurance if like they get cut up too much?
No, so you'll see some wrestlers, especially back in the day, where they didn't care, where they were cutting like along their forehead, and eventually they just get scarred up, or they get like. There was a particular wrestler, Abdul the Butcher, who could put quarters in between his little like. In between like his forehead scars and stuff like that. It was so deep.
That's hardcore.
But yeah, like they cut away, and then it comes back to Toni. I'm like, I can't tell if because it was like it was dripping, and then and then it proceeded to just keep going. People were talking about the consistency of the blood as well. Like it was just
a little thin. It looked a little thin.
Yeah. So we go back in the ring. Mariah uses the chair to do her butt bump. Another butt bump.
Yeah, but she like leaned up a chair against Toni, and I was like, man, that's brutal.
Yes. And then Toni gets the upper hand, and this is where I kind of went, are you kidding me, when I was watching it? Because this is when they both bring out the champagne bottle buckets full of glass.
Oh my gosh.
And go full kickboxer Jean-Claude Van Damme style, where they tape up their hands, and they put they dip their hands in, and they get glass all over their hands, and they try and punch each other. So I Brian, like, what were you thinking in that moment?
Oh my gosh, I was just stunned. I had no idea what was going to happen, and then when the tape came out, I was like, oh shoot. Oh no, this is not going to end well. And then Toni like punched Mariah right in the jaw. It looked like.
Yes, yeah. So that was sort of the thing. Like I say obviously, but that was probably like sugar glass, like not real glass.
I was hoping so.
Like it looked really good, but yeah, you were just going.
That's gonna get you a lot of energy too. You get some sugar shards in your body, and it starts dissolving. A little bit of a sugar high.
Yeah, I know. But like she hits her in the jaw, but then Mariah comes back and it's like slight
over her head.
Yeah, I'm like, huh? Like either she lost the will to blade herself, or it did get, because also I thought in my point of view it looked like she got hit in the chest as well.
Yeah. I could see that too.
So, but then Mariah gets back in the ring and Tony's like, nope, we're not doing this. It takes the
champagne bottle.
Yeah, the champagne bottle edge, and then just basically like rakes it across her forehead, and then that's blood.
Oh man.
Yeah. So now everybody, we got that nice look of the nice blonde hair and the color.
Gosh, it was a scene from Carrie.
Yeah. So yeah, just blood everywhere. Mariah May gets the upper hand, and then we get that wonderful shot of above of Toni just bleeding out on the floor, where with as you dubbed the Wile Coyote.
The Wile
camera.
Coyote shot.
Yes, just at that point, like the audience can obviously see what's going on the screen. They start cheering at that point. They're like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!"
Yeah. There was a sign out there that was like "for the sickos," and I was like, "Yeah, man, that's you. You are a sicko."
Yeah, so that's the owner Tony Khan's term for hit the wrestling fans of AEW, because people are like, "Oh, like you don't book storylines, you just book matches and stuff like this." Like, yeah, I book matches for the sickos.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. So it's become like a badge of pride between AEW fans. Like, we're the sickos. So,
yeah, bloodlusted sickos.
Yeah, bloodlusted sickos. So Toni eventually gets back out of the ring and she starts searching around for something, and then she finds the shoe.
Yeah.
Did you grasp any sort of importance of the shoe?
So the shoe was the same one, because I think there was still like some blood stains on it. That she got busted up with the last time, I think.
Yes. So
did she go to the hospital or something?
I'm sure she did.
Neck, or I don't know.
I'm trying to remember why that happened. Oh no, their feud had been going on for months at this point, so I'm going back and forth in my brain. So Toni Storm, when she first started out as this character, had a bit where she would finish each promo was like, and just remember, chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe. And she would walk, and she would walk away, be like, okay, and then a shoe would come off camera, and she'd throw it at him.
Oh dang.
So, and eventually she started throwing it at people and stuff like that. So when Mariah turned on her, she took off a shoe. I think Toni was wearing a heel when she came out to congratulate Mariah when she won her match. And then Mariah turns and she takes off the shoe and uses it.
Why did she turn on her?
Cause she's mean. Cause she's a heel. She's a heel using a heel. Yeah. Well, why not?
I mean, amazing.
I will, like I said, it's been going on for months. I'm sure she gave a very specific reason that I have not researched. I'm sorry, I can't explain it to you. Okay. Just know, yeah, exactly. We did watch. I completely forgot to talk about. We did watch a promo package before it started. What did you think of the promo package? Do you think it told you enough about the story?
Yeah, it told me that Mariah like pretty much destroyed Toni in the past match. Like this was like a revenge match from Toni to Mariah now.
Yes. So
and that was the shot of her in the hospital with like the neck brace and everything. Yes. And
so the way the matches worked was Mariah turns on Toni. Mariah beats Toni in All In last 2024. And then Toni goes away. It's actually very funny because when Toni comes back, she plays herself like she's a rookie. She's like, oh my God, I am the rookie Toni Storm. And she's wearing her original outfit. Or people are like, did she go insane again? And so eventually she wins her title match back. And Mariah's like, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but you seemingly forgot who you are, and walks away from her. Then Tony's like, no, I was not forgetting.
I did not have amnesia this whole time. I was faking it.
Well, no, she goes, I played the role of a lifetime. So she was playing Toni Storm, so it became a bit where it's like, how did you get in the mindset of Toni Storm, Toni Storm? So then they have another match. Toni wins that one, and then I think it's the following week is when Mariah comes out and beats the crap out of her and puts her in the hospital. So yeah, so eventually they do make their way back up to the match towards that table.
Yeah.
They fight. I thought it was interesting that they kept those like huge boxes, those like little crates out. I thought something was going to come out of them, but eventually I'm like, oh, it's just so they can stand on it and get up onto the table. Like, whatever. Willie's suspension of disbelief. Like, how did they know they were going to need them?
Yeah. How would they know?
Yes. And then the match ends with Toni putting Mariah through a table, and then covers her for the 1, 2, 3, and then eventually they just lay down exhausted. Yeah. And I think the match itself was only about 10 minutes. But
it felt not a long match, but it felt forever.
Yes, and like a lot of things happened. Like we talked about the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Macho Man match a couple episodes ago, where it's like it seemed like they were just going. It's like these it felt like they were pressed for time, and they just goes like, all right, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. It's like I felt like
they went on like double time or something.
Exactly, like maybe they could have done like a little bit of wrestling, but I loved this match. I mean, what did you think of it?
It was good. It was one of the more physical matches that we've seen. Like true athletes, I think, for those two. Like they were jumping, they were flipping, they were like doing everything. There was a DDT in it.
Oh yes, Brian. Every time we watch an episode, pops for the DDT.
I still don't know what I'm looking for though. It just happens, and someone yells DDT, and I yell DDT.
Yeah, oh my god. Maybe we'll figure it out one day.
She also curb stomped Mariah on the belt. I was like, dang, girl.
How did you know that was called? Did they say curb stomp, or did you pull that out of your brain?
I pulled it out of my brain because she like stepped on her head.
Yes, so that's what the move is called, is a curb stomp.
I mean, it's more than just a move. Like that's a real thing.
Yeah,
that's a real thing.
I mean, have you seen American History X?
Yes.
How, Brian?
What?
Like, I'm trying not to get flustered or annoyed, but you haven't seen The Simpsons.
How have I not seen The Simpsons? I did go to college.
I know. But no.
I did.
Would you rather watch The Simpsons or this movie about racism and prison rape and generational trauma?
I mean, want is a strong word.
Exactly.
Want is a strong word. And it was like, hey, Brian's in a group of people.
Yeah.
Hey, let's all take a vote on what we want to watch. Oh, everyone wants to watch American History X. Brian, what did you say? Oh, Wizard of Oz? No, Brian, we're gonna vote you out. We're gonna vote you out of this one.
Hey, I got my tapes of McGee in me. Yeah, exactly. That's what's going on.
Y'all seen Veggie Tales?
Yeah. It's like Tom Hanks in the SNL skit where he's on Black Jeopardy. He's like, if I can laugh, cry, and pray in 90 minutes, that was money well spent.
I did eventually have my horizons broadened when it happened.
I want to not to get too far off a tangent, but what would you say your first horizon was like? When was it broadened, and what broadened it?
Star Wars, man. Star Wars. That was it.
How old were you? Like 21 when you saw it?
No. I watched it with my dad as a kid, but now we'll get into a little Brian territory. I was terrified of Yoda for a little bit because he looked like a little gremlin. I had to like sleep in my sister's room for a little bit, like on the floor, just being like, Brian can't sleep by himself. He's scared of Yoda.
Where I did not like Gremlins as well.
But I loved Gremlins. It was hey, there's no rhyme and sense to what goes on in this brain of mine. But those little furry Mogwai, amazing.
The Mogwai, the Gizmo, hilarious. The
Gizmo's
other ones,
so good.
Crazy.
Spike, no Spike. The grandma through the plane of glass. That's not great.
No, so Morgan and I have discussed this many times, but like I can't do inanimate objects or animals. that display human emotions. I get too in my feels about it. Like I can't watch ET.
Okay, no, that's another. I can't even talk about him without having nightmares tonight now. So
Yeah.
I'm still terrified. I hate ET so much. He's a little creepy mother effer, man. I don't like him at all. And guess what? My aunt still sends me pictures of him just randomly and be like, "Hey, you still scared of this guy?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am. Stop sending me pictures of him."
Yeah, I know. The story I have is they do movies in the park at Ravinia out by us or by me, and they were going to do the Illinois Symphony Orchestra, I think, Chicago Symphony Orchestra, not Illinois, of ET, and my in-laws had tickets, and Morgan's like, "Do you want to go?" I'm like, "Yes," but when it comes to a certain point in the movie, I'm going to stop watching. And
Is
so
it the beginning? Because I agree.
no,
it's the beginning.
it's when he starts dying, when he's like found on the side of the road, basically.
Oh, the only good part of the movie?
Yeah, I know. Brian was cheering.
That part where he is no more.
Yeah, I know. So it's I'm full.
You know this is going to be one of those YouTube shorts, and I'm not going to be able to watch it because you're going to put a dang old picture of him, and I'm going to hate it. I'm going to hate it so much. Let's get back to wrestling.
No,
I would take Dr. Cube beating up that little alien any day.
So I haven't finished.
Big Matt will come at me. We're gonna get a show match of you versus ET.
Yeah, so I triggered Brian, but I haven't finished my story yet.
I'm triggered.
I know. Well,
Finish your story.
I was going to say, it's like Goodfellas, where it's like they were explaining Robert De Niro's characters. Like Jimmy was the kind of guy that rooted for the bad guy. Brian was the kind of guy that rooted for ET to die in the movie. So like it gets to that point, and like there's music and like the kids screaming, and I put on headphones. I just listened to music and I didn't watch the screen. So we finished, and my mother-in-law is just like, "Oh my gosh, Sean, I know why." And I'm like, "Yes, because he intentionally makes you feel like shit throughout that entire movie." I'm like, I'm just being manipulated into feeling sorry. Like kind of probably the way Brian feels. It's like he's a scary, creepy mother effer, and you. I'm glad we're shooting on ET in this episode.
Yeah, this is the anti-ET episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that'll wrap up our segment of Mariah May and Tony's Lore and Timeless, and also how we broaden Brian's horizons. All right, so our next segment is something that we watched, and because we saw an act, I thought I had it planned out in my brain. I was like, "Oh, it's a wrestler being an actress," but then I thought there was going to be like a switch. But no, it was a wrestler trying to be an actor. It was The Rock on SNL in March of 2000. So I just wanted to show like wrestlers being actors as opposed
to actors being wrestlers.
Yeah, I know. Like again, I'm getting all mixed up in it.
You know who's a big wrestling fan? Ron Funches. Ron Funches is.
Yeah,
and he did an episode of AP Bio where he's an amateur wrestler in the episode. It's so good. It's such a good episode.
Yes, so I remember watching a New Japan Pro Wrestling show based on, it was in California. This is like 2017, 2018. And they're panning in the crowd, and it's sort of like the first row. And I'm like, is that Ron Funches? And I think it said like he had like an "I am a Paul Heyman guy" t-shirt on. Like he very unabashedly wrestling fan, and we are very appreciative of him in the wrestling community.
Talking about actors being wrestlers, we were talking about Psych earlier, and James Roday Rodriguez, he is another big wrestling fan. I'm pretty sure he jumped on a wrestling match at one point because I think USA was like doing promotions or whatever for it.
Yes, so I'm sure at some point there was a point in like the early 2010s where they were doing cross pollinizations of like how do I want to say it, promotional stuff. So like Jackass was on Monday Night Raw, which was on USA. Hugh Jackman was on Raw. A clip that I'm really anxious to show you is MacGruber was on
MacGruber.
Yeah, so Kristen Wiig and Will Forte were on Raw in character.
Oh my gosh, that seems amazing.
Yes, they were also doing like some guest hosts. So like Bob Barker was there. I think William Shatner hosted Raw at one point. They were trying a lot of stuff.
So there is a bunch of actors being wrestlers and wrestlers being actors.
Yeah. So and like we haven't really talked about it, but like that's sort of like how WrestleMania was born. It was the Rock and Roll Connection, where it was Cyndi Lauper on a plane with this wrestling personality, Captain Lou Albano. Him and her talk. He eventually ends up as her dad in the "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" video, and then eventually Mr. T gets involved, and then like they do this like huge MTV cross promotional show with the WWF, and it becomes like this big thing. And then we get WrestleMania. Basically, it's like the evolution of that. So there's always been like a little bit of entertainment mixed with wrestling. And then there's been like football players, and Mickey Rourke punched out Chris Jericho at one point.
Oh my gosh.
A match also I'm very anxious to show you is Johnny Knoxville wrestled a match a couple years ago that was hilarious. Oh god, it was so good. There were so many props.
I was gonna say, you know how they have the Harlem Globetrotters for basketball. And they have something else for baseball. It's called like the Banana League or something like that.
Oh yeah, Savannah Bananas. They're great.
The Savannah Bananas. Do they have a comedy wrestling team that shows up for matches and just like tears it open? Is that a phrase? Is that a phrase?
No, that is. I don't know. We'll make it a phrase. Let's tear this episode open.
Let's tear this open.
Tear it open.
Crack them ribs.
Yeah. No, there is not to my knowledge. There's like comedy wrestlers. They call it haha. But no, like there's wrestlers
guess what? Haha Bryanson is coming to WrestleMania 2026. Make it happen, WWC fans.
Oh god, Michael Che and Colin Jost wrestled in a match at WrestleMania.
Amazing. Yeah,
there's been like this weird relationship. Not weird, but like Lorne Michaels and Vince have always been close friends. Okay. And you kind of saw it the Saturday Night Main Event program that WWE used to run was it would fill in the gaps when SNL wasn't on Saturday night. So it's like, oh, NBC needs something live on Saturday night. Let's do wrestling. Awesome. So they already had that prior relationship. So no, the segment we watched, it starts off with Triple H, Vince, Big Show, and Mick talking about how they're not going to beat up The Rock. I love the bit.
They did a good job of not beating him up.
Yes, I love the bit of Big Show.
With the chair?
Yeah, he's so big he can have the chair. He can hide the chair behind his back, and he's like, "Turn around." It's like, what? I want to make sure.
I have a good seat.
Like, how did you think? Like, did you think they were corny? Did you think they were?
They were corny. 100% corny.
I thought they were pretty good. Like, I'm sure that's my nostalgia goggles because I definitely did watch this live when it happened because I was like, oh my god, they're going to be on Saturday Night Live. But no, like Big Show's like supposed to be this huge monster, and he's just like, oh my god, Vince! Like he's just this lovable,
just full of joy.
Yeah,
especially when he's cheering at the very end.
Yeah, Big Show eventually finds Chris Kattan, who's in his mango outfit.
Amazing.
Yeah, brings him out, drops him off.
Can I keep him?
Yeah, exactly. Can I keep him? No. Vince gives us the very big, it's Saturday night.
Yeah.
I was like, man, he's been waiting his whole life to say that. He's laying right. And then we cut to The Rock coming out. And as he comes out, you said, oh, he's wearing his Scorpion King hair.
He's got a Scorpion King hair.
To which I replied, Brian, that's just his hair. I was interested to see what you think, because like this is a very more toned down Rock where he's not trying to be a big gruff movie star. Yeah. He's speaking in like a normal voice. He's trying to be smooth. I
saw him in that 70s show where he made a cameo once where he was like pretending to be his dad.
Yes, his dad, Rocky Johnson. He's very smooth, and you kind of notice it. Like he tries to be like Elvis out on there. Like he's just. And then Triple H and Big Show come out with Mick Foley. They do a little bit up top where Mick asks, "Where's the beer, man?" Which I thought was, which if you know Mick's not a huge drinker, so like that seemed a little.
But that's what you would expect at a wrestling match, right? So
exactly.
Like if you're at a wrestling match, you're sitting in the audience. Where's the beer, man?
Yeah, it was funny. Like The Rock's trying to go like, "Hey, we're not stupid," and they're up there acting stupid. And then Rock calls out Triple H. Triple H comes down. They have a little bit of a bit, and then Triple H comes out.
An audience member.
Did you notice who the audience member was?
No. Should
That
I
was
have?
that's Mike Schur.
Oh, really?
That is Dwight's brother from The Office and the writer of Parks and Rec and The
Parks and Rec
Office.
and Good Place
Yes,
and
very smart guy.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think he was at least a producer on it.
So, yeah. Amazing.
Yes. So what did you think of the overall segment? Entertained?
It was great.
Like,
Yeah, it was fun.
yes, it's very interesting because, like, if I showed you four of the biggest wrestlers of the company right now, I feel like you wouldn't know who they were. But the audience obviously either was being told to applause or like, yeah, I know all these guys.
Right.
And we're at least entertained by them.
Yeah, if you would have just showed me that clip, I would have been like, that's cool. I don't know any of these people. I know the Rock.
Exactly. I know him from the Scorpion King, just like I knew Macho Man for his Bonesaw.
Bonesaw is ready.
All right, that'll finish up our wrestling adjacent segment, and we will move on to Who's That Wrestler? Now's the time in the show where I show Brian a photo of a wrestler, and I tried to get him to guess who's that wrestler. So the photo that we are now showing, it is a female Japanese wrestler. She has very spiked up hair. She has blue lines over her face, which I'm sure gives it away to our home listening audience or home viewing audience on YouTube about who this is. So she's wearing these majestic, I don't know what they're called.
It's almost like a gi, almost like a karate gi or something.
But like, what's those like little circles on it called? I call it the grandma outfit. I can't think of it. It's like something from the 90s.
The grandma outfit?
It's like, do you know those pillows? If you like run your hand across it, it like changes like a color because it flips the circle over.
Oh, like that pillow in. I don't know. Cut that out. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, no, we're both fumbling at this point. It's like not sequin. God darn it.
Oh, sequin pillows. Yeah, those like flip up and down with colors.
Yeah, exactly. So, Brian, who's this wrestler?
This wrestler looks like Goku from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, she definitely has a very Kamehameha face.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is not Goku. Any other guesses?
What is the blue lines on her face?
I couldn't honestly tell you. I'm sure they're a look. I'm sure they mean something somewhere. Excuse me, that I haven't read somewhere, but
it reminds me of so for the last Star Wars Episode 9 that we don't really talk about, they kind of did it's called like kintsugi or something, where you repair a broken object with like gold, and it has like kind of lines through it, and that kind of reminds me, like, did she get her face broken or something, and this is like a repair?
Yeah. Are we talking about Kylo Ren's mask?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm sure that might be part of it. I'm not sure.
Because like that's like a Japanese art of repairing broken things.
I'd be honestly very. Actually, let's look this up. I want to see if you're right.
We've gone off tangent on who's this wrestler, and now it is, why does the wrestler got blue lines on their face?
I should have anticipated this question. I'm very upset with myself. It's basically, she's like, it was the late 80s. Everything was like big,
a little bit neon, a little bit Ziggy Stardust, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Does this wrestler scare you, Brian?
I mean, if it was in a dark alley, yeah, maybe a little bit. If I met this wrestler in a dark alley, I'd be like, whoa! But no, yeah. Like, I feel like I've seen worse at C2E2. So. Yeah,
I know. Gives very Eraserhead style, like this. Also, the Slim Jim guy as well. No, so this is Japanese professional wrestler Bull Nakano.
Bull Nakano, okay.
Yeah, so she wrestled in All Japan in the late 80s, early 90s. She eventually wrestles in WWF for a cup of coffee. She wrestles a while. She always did a big leg drop off the top rope to the point where like she jumped off the top of the cage and lands right on her butt.
Oof, ouch.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, she eventually is forced into an early retirement in 1997. So she doesn't have a long career, but she definitely made an impact.
Nice.
Definitely a very big, scary wrestler. She was much bigger than a lot of the wrestlers of her time, so she was sort of that mean little monster.
Okay.
I do, however, want to show you what she looks like now, and I still don't think it's the same person.
There is no way.
Exactly. I'm like, so, like I can kind of see it.
That's
but like,
amazing.
yeah, she's obviously lost a little bit of weight.
Sure.
But no, like I see her, and like she had her Hall of Fame ceremony for WWE last year, I want to say, and she had the blue lines on her face. I'm like, huh, I can't really
see it. I can see it a little bit.
Yes, you can see it a little bit, but like if you showed me the two photos side by side, like are these the same person? I'd be like, nope, not even close.
Yep. Oh man, that's good.
All right, and then before we finish, I want to show you. I want to play one more segment with you.
Ooh, surprise segment.
Yes, it'll be very quick. I'm going to play a fun little segment with Brian that I'm sure I'll bring back at some point. And I can't take all the credit. I saw something like this on Instagram, and it made me think of like, what did Brian think of this? So we're going to play a game called How Old Do You Think Hulk Hogan Is in This Photo?
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, so this for those that can't see, this photo is from, it's right after the Andre Hogan Saturday Night Main Event where they had the double ref, and he's crying backstage to Mean Gene. So I know exactly when this happens, and Brian could probably figure this out if he tried really hard. But Brian, how old do you think Hulk Hogan is in this photo?
Man, I know like 30s into 70s is a whole different story than 30s in like 2025. But like, I want to say, honestly, he looks like he's 54, but he's probably like 32.
Yeah, so you weren't far off from the first one. It's he is 33.
Oh my gosh, that's younger than me right now. That's younger than me. He looks like a grown ass man with like grandchildren.
Yeah, I know. He's
and
got this.
He probably was because people had kids way younger back then.
I know. That's like I'm 37, and this I was just like, oh, so it was like Hulk Hogan is 33 in this photo, and I went, oh my god.
Talk about life experience, man. I've had a soft life.
Yeah, I know. Oh god, what movie is it where they look at someone's hands and like, oh, you're obviously not a worker or something like that because you have soft hands. Basically, that man has had a hard.
This man has gone through some stuff. He's seen some stuff. He was in the ring with Andre the Giant. That has to put at least 10 years on you.
Yeah, I know. Like this is a man that wakes up with a Coors Light or a Miller Lite each morning.
Are you kidding me? He's waking up with a PBR in his hand.
Yeah, and smokes a cigarette, gets in the pickup, and goes down to local 5 and Dime to pick up some seed.
That's right.
Yeah, so this is basically everyone on my dad's side of the family that I ever grew up knowing, like the mustache, the skullets, and stuff like that. You just smell the cigarette smoke and stale beer coming off him.
You just said skullet, and that has tickled me in a way I've never heard before.
You've never heard? Yeah, so this...
I've never heard it called a skullet before.
So Hulk Hogan has a famous skullet. George Carlin is the famous skullet as well later in his career.
Amazing.
One of my favorite lines, he's like, hey, if you don't like the way your hair is balding, just do what I did and wait a while. And it just to the point where like it grows down to his shoulders, basically.
Amazing.
So yeah, and then just for your edification, this photo, this is the only one I could find because all the other photos were of a weird color. This is also part of a good wrestling meme where the quote was like, when someone tries to get into the stall while you're going to the bathroom or you're pooping, and it just got a line under this, and it just goes, "I'm in here, brother." Just the meat sweats of trying to push something else. Like, oh my god, please, I'm in here, brother. And we're back. We talked about poop. We got it.
We got poop and meat sweats in the same sentence.
Exactly. So that'll do it for our last segment of
how old's this wrestler?
Yeah, how old is Hulk Hogan in this photo?
Who is this wrestler and how old is Hulk Hogan?
All right, that'll about do us here on Wrestling Without Context. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. Please join us again for our next episode. You can find us on all forms or some forms of social media. You can find us on Twitter at Wrestling Without Context. We are also just got on Instagram at Wrestling Without Context. We are also on YouTube where you can find this show in its video format. So please drop on by, drop us a comment, drop us a like, and we will also throw you maybe we'll give you a shout out. Brian will give you a nice little woohoo.
I'll read every comment on those videos.
Exactly. It'll be an episode dedicated to all those comments that we are getting. You can also find our show on Spotify, our iHeartRadio, wherever you find your local podcast. And before I forget, once this episode drops, I'm sure it'll be announced by then. I just want to give a big shout out to our friends over at the Game Marks podcast, who announced that they are ending their podcast after 5 years of just wonderful content. I found them during the pandemic. They've been a great source of entertainment for me. I've gotten to know George and Johnny over there at the Game Marks podcast, Pod Exchange, over the past couple of years, and they actually helped us out with the show. They helped create our graphics. They've been a wonderful source, a wonderful sounding board, as I will say, of just ideas as I've tried to get this podcast off the ground. So, bon voyage, Game Marks podcast. We hardly knew ye, and we got GTA 6, or we got the Game Marks podcast before we got GTA 6.
It's coming, though. It's coming soon.
Yes.
Next year.
Hopefully.
That was a sexy trailer, too. Ooh, boy.
All that they showed us how everything jiggles in that world. Because I remember it's like 86 facts, and like half of them were like jiggle physics of like, hey, look
Why
at
do
the
you
way
think it's taking so long? Gotta get it perfect.
that butt is not jiggling enough. Or like the way the beer sort of like moves back and forth in the bottle and stuff like that. I'm like, it's like, I hope the gameplay's good. I don't care how it looks. Like, I don't care how my fake beer. I just want to play it. So that'll about do it. Brian, do you have anything before we sign off?
Have a great Memorial Day. If I don't see you then. That's dumb. No, cut that out, please. That's stupid. I hate this.
Every time we go to the end of the show and you're like, I'm like,
have
hey,
a good holiday.
I know
it's a holiday somewhere. Is it Arbor Day yet? I don't know.
I mean, everyone's got a month. I think May is also, is May Armed Forces Month as well? It's Military Appreciation Month. May is military. So everyone's got a month. And then we're shooting straight into Pride Month. All right. So that'll about do us. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you next time.
Brian doesn't know about suplex slams. He thinks a wrist lock is a boy band. Can't tell a moonsault from a flying knee. He's clueless about the ring's legacy. He called a steel cage a fancy shed. Said lucha masks are hats for your head. He thinks the Undertaker's just a grave guy. This poor dude's living a wrestling lie. Brian doesn't know the ropes or the show. Tag teams and belts are all Greek to his soul. Every finisher he calls a weak spin move. Brian doesn't know he's got nothing to prove. Miss WrestleMania 4 and in class, confused a pile driver with a chair to crash. He thought kayfabe was a type of pie. Stop pretending, kid, we all saw